I'm 92 years old, and last Tuesday, I almost died. My heart stopped for 37 seconds. The doctors brought me back, and you know what I thought about in those 37 seconds. Not my achievements, not my possessions, but the 40 years I wasted worrying about things that never mattered. If you're in your 50s or 60s right now, you're at a crossroads. The decisions you make in the next decade will determine whether your final years are filled with peace or regret. I know because I've lived both sides of that coin. And today, I'm going to share the 10 lessons that took me 92 years to learn. Lessons that could save you decades of pain. Stay with me, because lesson number 7 literally saved my life last year. Lesson 1. Your body keeps score. And the bill comes, due. When I was 55, I thought I was invincible. I could eat whatever I wanted, skip exercise, burn the candle at both ends. My doctor warned me. I ignored him. At 68, I had my first heart attack. Here's what nobody tells you about your 50s and 60s. This is your last chance to build the body that will carry you through your 80s. After 70, you're not building anymore. You're maintaining what you have. And if you don't have much, you're in trouble. I spent my 70s reversing damage I did in my 50s. I could have spent those years hiking mountains. Instead, I spent them in physical therapy. Start moving today, not tomorrow. Today, your 85-year-old self is begging you. Lesson 2. The people who matter won't wait forever. My daughter stopped calling when she was 40. I was 62. Why? Because I was always too busy. Too busy with work. Too busy with my hobbies. Too busy to show up for her dance recitals when she was 8. Too busy to visit when my grandkids were born. Too busy building a career that nobody remembered at my retirement party. By the time I realized what mattered, she'd built a life without me in it. We reconciled when I was 79. 17 years lost. 17 years of birthdays, holidays, moments I can never get back. My youngest grandchild was 12 before I really knew her name. The brutal truth: your kids won't wait. Your spouse won't wait. Your friends won't wait. They'll move on. They'll build lives around the hole you left. I spent my 50s climbing a ladder. When I got to the top, I realized it was leaning against the wrong wall. Don't make my mistake. Lesson 3. Money buys freedom, not happiness. Learn the difference. I retired at 67 with $2.3 million. I thought I'd won. At 73, sitting in my big, empty house, I would have traded every penny to have my wife back. She died at 71. We'd planned to travel the world together in retirement. We never went anywhere. I kept saying, next year, when I have a bit more saved. Next year never came for her. Here's what I learned too late. Money is a tool for buying time and experiences while you can still enjoy them. After 75, most of that money just sits in accounts, making your kids richer when you die. Use it now. That trip you're putting off? Book it. That hobby you've been thinking about? Start it. That dinner with old friends? Schedule it. I have more money now than I did at 60, and I'd give it all away to have one more day with the people I loved. Lesson 4. Grudges are anchors you choose to carry. I didn't speak to my brother for 23 years. 23 years. Over what? A business disagreement. an argument about money that literally doesn't matter anymore. He died when I was 81. I never got to say goodbye. I never got to say I'm sorry. I never got to tell him I loved him. You know what I think about now? Our childhood, building forts in the woods, his terrible jokes at Thanksgiving, the way he always had my back when we were kids. But I threw away 2 decades over ego and pride. Listen to me carefully. Whatever grudge you're holding right now, let it go. I promise you, on your deathbed, you won't care who was right. You'll only care about the time you lost. Forgive people. Not for them, for you. Because carrying that weight gets heavier every single year. Lesson 5. Your identity isn't your job. Retirement will prove it. For 40 years, I was the engineer. That's how I introduced myself. That's how I thought of myself. Then I retired at 67, and suddenly I was nobody. I spent 2 years lost, depressed. My wife would find me just staring out the window. I didn't know who I was without the title, the office, the meetings. Here's what nobody prepares you for. One day, your career ends. And if that's all you are, you'll end with it. The people who thrive in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, they built identities outside of work. They had hobbies, passions, communities, friendships that weren't about business cards and networking. I had to rebuild myself at 70. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Don't wait that long. Start now. Find something you love that has nothing to do with your paycheck. Because I guarantee you, when you retire, nobody from your office is coming to check on you. Lesson 6. Health isn't everything until it's the only thing. At 58, I thought people who obsessed over health were boring. I mocked the guys doing yoga and eating vegetables. At 72, I would have given anything to be one of them. I developed diabetes at 70, arthritis at 74. I had my gallbladder removed at 76. Every single condition was preventable. Every single one was caused by decades of neglect. Now I take 14 pills a day. I can't eat what I want. I can't go where I want. My entire life revolves around managing conditions I gave myself. The irony? I spent my healthy years taking health for granted. Now I spend my limited years trying to get it back. Your 50s and 60s are your last chance to invest in your health. After that, you're just doing damage control. Trust me. You don't want to spend your 80s wishing you'd taken care of your 60-year-old body. Lesson 7. Small decisions compound into your entire life. This is the lesson that saved my life. When I was 77, I made a small decision. I decided to call one old friend every Sunday. Just one, 10 minutes. That's it. Sounds simple, right? That decision created a network of people who checked on me, who noticed when I didn't call, who found me when I collapsed in my kitchen at 84, who visited me in the hospital, who made sure I wasn't alone. Small decisions compound. The daily walk compounds into mobility at 85. The weekly call compounds into community. The monthly checkup compounds into catching diseases early. But it works both ways. Small neglect compounds too. The daily cigarette compounds into lung disease. The skipped checkup compounds into late-stage cancer. The ignored relationship compounds into dying alone. You think you're making small choices. You're not. You're building your future. One tiny decision at a time. What small decision will you make today? Lesson 8. Your comfort zone is a slow death. At 82, I learned to paint. People thought I was crazy. You're too old to start something new. But here's what I discovered. Learning something new at 82 made me feel more alive than I'd felt in 20 years. Your brain doesn't retire. Your spirit doesn't retire. Only your courage does. I spent my 60s and 70s doing the same things, seeing the same people, having the same conversations. I was alive, but I wasn't living. Don't wait until you're 82 to try something new. Don't wait until you're running out of time to take risks. The biggest risk is reaching the end and realizing you never really lived. Lesson 9. Nobody cares about your excuses. They'll just miss you. I miss my grandson's college graduation because I didn't feel like driving 2 hours. He never forgot. I never forgot. I had excuses. The traffic, my back pain, the weather. But here's the truth. He didn't care about my excuses. He just wanted me there. And when I died, he won't remember my excuses. He'll remember I wasn't there. Show up, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when you're tired. Because the people you love won't remember your excuses. They'll just remember you weren't there. Lesson 10. One day you'll run out of time. Live like you believe it. I'm 92. Every morning I wake up surprised. Not happy, not grateful, just surprised. Because statistically, I should be dead. Here's what I know, now that I wish I knew at 55. Time is the only thing you can't get back. Not money, not health, not relationships. Those you can rebuild. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. I wasted 40 years. 40 years worrying about money I'd never spend. 40 years building a career nobody remembers. 40 years putting off joy for someday. Someday is a place you never reach. If I could go back to my 50s, I'd take the trip. I'd make the call. I'd say I love you more. I'd worry less about retirement accounts and more about creating memories. I'd live like I believed my time was limited. Because it was. It is. And so is yours. I'm 92 years old. I've made every mistake you can make. I've wasted decades on things that don't matter. I've lost people I can't get back. But you still have time. You're in your 50s or 60s. You have maybe 20, maybe 30 good years left. That's enough time to change everything. To rebuild relationships, to travel, to learn, to love deeply, to make peace with your past, to create the ending you want, but only if you start today, not tomorrow, not next year, today. What will you do with the time you have left? Because I promise you, one day you'll be 92, looking back at today, wishing you'd started sooner. Don't be me at 92 full of regrets. Be the version of yourself you'll be proud to remember. The clock is ticking.